Good afternoon, brethren. My name is Benjamin Zamosny, and I am the Secretary for the Maryland Masonic Academy. And I am here today to tell you why you should be knocking on the doors of the Maryland Masonic Academy to help continue your quest for further enlightenment in Masonry. So let's go ahead, let's knock 3 times, and let's get this started. Today we're going to be talking about the purpose of the Maryland Masonic Academy, how to gain access to the Maryland Masonic Academy, what courses are offered by the Academy, and finally the honor societies that are part of the Academy. So let's get started with the purpose of the Academy. The purpose of the Academy is to continue to help Master Masons get further enlightenment in Masonry. Because typically, most Masons fall into about one of 3 different categories early in their Masonic career, in the middle of their Masonic career, or just anywhere else, really, to be honest with you. Those 3 categories, the first one is that maybe we as Master Masons are at a stalemate in our Masonic life. We've kind of gone to Lodge for a couple of years. We're not doing the catechism anymore. Maybe we're not coaching, but we don't know if we want to go to the East, and we're kind of just we're there. We're kind of spinning our wheels. You know, maybe we show up every once a month. Maybe we try to make it every meeting, but we're just we don't feel the same burning desire that we did when we were brand new Master Masons, and we're looking for something to help us reignite that fire. You know, being fervent for Freemasonry again. The Maryland Masonic Academy and their online courses can do that for you. Perhaps we're a Master Mason, brand new, and that fire is burning so bright that we just want to continue to feed it, but we don't know where to begin. We don't know where to get fuel for that fire. So we go onto Amazon and we type in Freemason, Master Mason, esoteric, and all that good stuff, and then all of a sudden we see 3,000 different books by 3,000 different authors explaining what Masonry is, and we feel overwhelmed. Well, the Maryland Masonic Academy has taken a lot of those books, and we've consolidated them down into about 9 to 10 different resources for especially those brand new Master Masons to get you started in your quest for further knowledge. Also, hopefully, we're also maybe one of those Master Masons that just has that unquenchable thirst for further enlightenment. But unfortunately, maybe we're in a lodge where our needs just aren't getting met. Maybe we're just so hungry for information that we just can't get it fast enough. And so you're looking for some more resources. The Maryland Masonic Academy has it in their courses. Okay? So I'd like for you to think about the Maryland Masonic Academy kind of as like a college, and you kind of enroll in the Maryland Masonic Academy and you take their individual courses, and when you're done those courses, you receive your degree, your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, that kind of idea. Okay? So let me tell you how you can enroll in the Maryland Masonic Academy and gain access to these courses. First, you must be a Master Mason with your catechism completed. That's the prerequisite for everything. Your lodge secretary has to go in through the lodge portal and has to enter in that information. Without that information, it will not occur. You then, once that information is put in, you go into the website and the portal, and I'll put a link in the description below, and you providing a valid email address and having your membership ID number, which the lodge secretary can provide for you, will be able to see what is those little blue and red boxes on the home screen of your portal access. That little red box, you click on that gets you into the Maryland Masonic Academy. Once you are in the Maryland Masonic Academy, you will see that there are 2 different courses that you can take. The first one, the Fellow of the Craft. The second, the Pillar of the Craft. You must take them in order for this to work out correctly. Once you click on the Fellow of the Craft, you will see that the requirements of the Fellow of the Craft are 3. That you go through and that you read on a multiple choice kind of true-false test that you'll be given once you read the resources, and you have to achieve an 80% on that test. Now let me show you what those resources look like. Haha, there it is. This is the Entered Apprentice, and we kind of call it like the instruction manual. And it's, let's say 23 pages worth of information. And you get 25 questions. I forget how many it is. And once you score an 80% on that, then you can move then to the next one for the Fellow of the Craft. And again, this one is 17 pages. Once you score an 80% on that test, then you read the Master Mason, and these will only open up once that 80% has been achieved. This one, again, 23 pages. Now, don't worry if you're a really bad test taker. You don't get like a one shot only kind of thing. You can go back and you can take that test again and again and again because it's self paced and it's for you. So that's why we really try to emphasize, take your time, move as steadily as you can, and keep going back after it again. That's the whole purpose of these online courses, is that you don't have to feel rushed with everybody else around you. I remember when I was in school, if you took a test and everyone else kind of started up and giving the teacher the paper and you're still kind of writing, you're like, oh my goodness, I guess I'm failing because I'm not as smart as you got. No, that's not it. This is all online. You take it at your own pace, right? No one's here to rush you through. We want you to get the information. So take your time and enjoy. Once you do that, let's go back over here. There we go. Once you have finished the Fellow of the Craft, and that's completing the Entered Apprentice, the Fellow Craft, and the Master Mason instructional manuals, plus the corresponding tests, you will actually receive a certificate of completion for the Fellow of the Craft. And that can be picked up at Grand Lodge or can be presented at your lodge. Then the Pillar of the Craft opens up. The Pillar of the Craft is set up a lot like the Fellow of the Craft, except for there is a live portion which you have to do to complete the Pillar of the Craft. The online portion is set up just like the other one, except for this time, instead of 3 resources you have to read, there are 6. And these are not given to you in the PDF format like they are for the Fellow of the Craft. These you have to go out and get. So you have the module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, or module 5, part 2 is how it's termed. The Constitution and Landmarks, which you can get on the Grand Lodge portal. The Maryland Masonic Manual, which I think you can get from your lodge. The Book of Public Ceremonies, which most lodges have copies of, or you can borrow. The Idiot's Guide to Freemasonry by S. Brent Morris. Fantastic book if you haven't read it. Another great resource to have to give to prospective members if they're looking in for information. And then the Composite, which is the Operative Freemasonry and the Lodge Leadership. So once you take that, now, because we've upped the ante a little bit, because we're going to the Pillar of the Craft, you have to score a 90% or better to pass, right? But this is only the first part of the pillar. In order to complete the Pillar of the Craft, you must also do what we term as called the Arch Presentation. The Arch Presentation is where you give a 15 to 20 minute presentation either at the Maryland Lodge of Research, the Esoteric Lodge, or at your home lodge that has been approved by the Maryland Masonic Academy or the Committee on Masonic Education. You're presented or you're given a mentor to ensure that that we can show up. We're going to see you do it, and then we're going to write back to the Maryland Masonic Academy and say, yeah, that was a great presentation. Those mentors have already done this. They know how to help guide along the way so that your presentation, when you get ready to give it, is something that all of us will have so much fun and information and gather so much information from. My presentation, because your presentation can, once you submit the topic for approval, can really much be based on a lot of what you want to do. There's not like, oh, hey, here's 5 different subjects, pick one and write. You get to come up with your idea. Mine happened to be on the Holy Saint John. It was an incredible presentation that I really thoroughly enjoyed giving. I just got so much out of doing the research for it, and then, having those conversations with my lodge members once the presentation was done and saying, hey, what did you think? Did you get anything out of it? And having them kind of think about the material also. So a great, great time. And that's how, once that is all done, that's how you finish out the Pillar of the Craft. And just like the Fellow of the Craft, once you are done those requirements, you will receive a certificate that can be either picked up at Grand Lodge or presented at your home lodge for completion. Okay? So, I'm going to wait for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start another video, and I'll try to put it up in the corner there somewhere so that you can link right over to it. Okay? The next video is going to be about the honor societies.